Hey, good morning, everybody. We've got CPI numbers, Consumer Price Index numbers coming out at 8:30. We're going to bring on CNBC so we can all watch live together. Now, let's just simplify Consumer Price Index. What the heck does that mean? I mean, I've rarely talked about this. I have another CPI video, but sure, it's the amount of that people pay for rent, the amount that people pay for gas, food, things like that. And then we have PPI tomorrow. So people say, well, what's PPI if we have CPI? PPI is Producer Price Index. So that's more of like goods and services. I need someone to come over and change my tire. I need a inspector to inspect my house or whatever these are. I need a pool cleaner. Okay, well, his rates go up. Basically, it's a gauge of inflation as well. So that is what the Fed is going to pay attention to. That is why yesterday's volume in the market was so light. We ended last week, Thursday and Friday, 104 million and 84 million. Strong freaking days for summer. Okay, those are strong volume days. Yesterday, okay, extremely light day, 54 million on the SPY. So what is a strong day during summer? Strong day during summer is 80 million and up volume. Now, how do you use that information? Easily. If it's a strong day and it's not a chop day, but it's strong going north, bullish, then you're going to say, okay, when big money comes into play, the market goes higher. You could also say the same thing if it were pushing down. If you see a strong volume day, and today is going to be a strong volume day, and so will likely tomorrow, because everybody has an opinion. And when the CPI numbers come out, and I'll tell you what the range is going to be, you're going to see the market react. And you've seen the market kind of rip higher or fade higher because everybody's expecting a low CPI number, and everybody knows, okay, give me a low CPI number and the markets will likely go higher. So what are we looking for? Well, let's get to the expectations. Okay. Bloomberg 3%, Citibank's 3%, HBSC 3%, Nomura 3%, Goldman Sachs 3.1, Barclays 3.1, Credit Suisse 3.1, Morgan Stanley 3.1, me 3.1. I think we're going to come in line with that. JP Morgan 3.2, Visa 3.2, RBC 3.2. The median is 3.1. Where do I think we're coming in? 3.1. So it's not like the market's going to rip higher and say, okay, low CPI print ripping higher today, high CPI print dropping today. Okay, we come in right in line, and understand, I think it's the last 4 months have been like, okay, estimates at this, and we come in right in line with estimates, and the market tends to like it and then sell off because it's like, okay, we didn't come in low. However, if you see a print with the number 2 point something in front of it, 2.9 in front of it, then yeah, the market has every right to rip higher. So we can talk about the different ranges. And after we hear the CPI number, if you stick with me, I'll talk about the dark pool levels and what I'm expecting today. Because lately I've been pretty damn accurate, and I'll give you an example. Oh, I do have a comment about FTX, but yesterday, right, 57 million. Okay, that was the volume, the range, 439.44, 442.97. What is that? Exactly 3.5 points. 3.53. Okay, so slightly over 3.5 points. What did I tell you was going to happen on Monday? We would see a 3-point range. So Monday's been a 3-point range. Tuesday's been 3.5-point range historically. And it's crazy how these patterns work out. And those that are watching me early, I appreciate that. And you hopefully can use this information. But Wednesdays have typically been like a 5-point range. So how do you use that information? Let's say you see the bottom in around 10:20 this morning and the SPY is sitting at 441, and you say, okay, the bottom's at 441. We're talking about a 5-point range. The SPY could rip higher to 446. Vice versa. Let's say you see the SPY open at 445 and reject 445. Okay, then you say to yourself, okay, Matt said 5-point range. If we're rejecting 445 and volume's pretty strong, then we're going down to 440. You also just received my bull case and my bear case scenario. My bull case scenario is that we're going to rip higher, and you're going to see, 5 points, the low at 441, the high of 446. So maybe 446.15. We're going to touch 441 first out of the gate. You're going to see good volume, good support, and we're going to rip higher to 446. That's my bull case. My bear case scenario is, well, we're already starting out on the SPY at what? 440, probably 444 this morning. Let's just see where we are right now. Give me 1 second to pull that up. Here we go. Google SPY. Okay, 443.66 up 0.27 right now. So again, let's say 444 is an open. If 444 is an open and we're giving the bear case scenario, then we'll rip higher to 445, 446, and we're going to drop 5 points to 440, 441. And again, the vice versa is true. Your bull case scenario is we drop on open, we find support right at maybe where we closed yesterday, 442, 46, maybe 441, something like that. And then we go higher to 446. So again, you have your bull and bear case scenario. Let's bring on add it to the screen. We should have them coming out with the CPI numbers any second now. So let's just see. June CPI data.
In Chicago, he's going to just have a bunch of numbers and comparisons in about 2 seconds. Hey, Rick.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Consumer price index for the month of June. We're expecting a headline number to be in the neighborhood of up 0.3, but I'm going to be paying most attention to the core at up 0.4, our last look. And I'll tell you why in a moment as we wait for these numbers to populate. And here we go. If you look at the headline, up 0.2%, up 0.2%. And that, of course, comps to the up 1/10 in the rearview mirror. It's a 1/10 lighter than expectations. Now, CPI core ex food and energy up 0.2, up 0.2. And that means it's not the fourth consecutive month up 0.4. And it also means it's not the seventh month in a row of 0.4 or higher. And that was a record going all the way back. The last time we had something along those lines was from October of 89 to April of 90, where it was 9 in a row. So we stopped that as well. And up 0.2 on the core is the lowest level going all the way back to February of 21, when it was only
I use the same music.
And if we look at year over year, up 3%, 4% in the rearview mirror. Well, 4% in the rearview mirror was the lowest level since March of 21. So when you see 3%, you have to go all the way back to March of 21 again, because that's where the comp drops from down to 2.6 is what we're comping to. And in the rearview mirror, 4%. And here's another one. If you look at X food and energy, last month it was up 5.3. That was the lowest level since Nova of 2021. We breached 5% to 4.8, and that remains at the lowest level since October of 21, when it was 4.6. We could see that interest rates have fallen about 3 basis points in tens from 393 to 390. We see that the pre-opening equity markets have rocketed higher. Dow futures up basically 200. And of course, we are going to monitor if there's any changes in Fed fund futures. I don't think so. At 10 o'clock Eastern, look for Bank of Canada to go 1/4 point to 5%. Dollar index prior to this number, of course, was at a 2-month low. My guess is it's not rallying at this point. And we're all going to pay attention to the UAW. You know, wages are a big issue, as we learned last Friday, and UAW. And
okay, let's get to how we're going to process information, because a lot of you and the ones on the sidelines are saying, well, what do I do? Do I chase this market higher? When do I stop chasing this market? And I would suggest to you use the dark pool level. You find out the support levels of certain stocks, because if you have a stock, and let's just use DraftKings, for example. DraftKings shot up to $30 pre-market, or actually better, Robinhood, because I've been talking about Robinhood since it was my lotto play on Friday and returned 200%. Then the play that I gave out on Monday was gold. And specifically on gold, I said great entry would be $178.32. What was the low on Monday? It was about 14 cents under there. What did I do? Get into some positions. I'm up 40%. Those that you who followed me are up 40%, and gold is rocking this morning. Where was the exit strategy? Remember, I said I was going to make 100% on that trade. So what other trades have I spoke about? Okay, both here and on Discord. Of course, I speak more about my trading on Discord, but I try and make it somewhat manageable for those who don't actively trade. So I also spoke about China, that I don't really trust China. However, Alibaba was getting off with a slap on the wrist. They're going to have to pay a $1 billion fine, and they were doing a $6 billion stock buyback. So again, I'm in Alibaba calls. I'm probably going to get 100% of those. Now, I'm also in those Hood calls that I mentioned last Friday. Hood, which was what, $10.48, is now popping. It's probably over $12 this morning. I was actually had my eye on gold, because my largest trade right now is gold. When gold goes up, when interest rates go down, when the US dollar goes down, when interest rates go down, gold goes up. So what was I banking on? I was banking on a lower than expected CPI print, and we got that at 0.2%. versus the 0.3% that was expected. That's why you're seeing the market skyrocket. So again, you don't have to chase your stocks. If you're in calls, and again, Love was talking about, I mean, some ridiculous call. It was the SPY, maybe it was like 455. It was so far out of the money, but you know what? Her returns are going to be hundreds of percent. She got in at $5 a contract, right? Small trades, $5 a contract out at what? $31 a contract, something like that today. So she'll be making at least 500% on those. So again, you don't have to have a lot of money to trade options. You just have to come up with a strategy and you say, okay, they're buying the dips in the market. I haven't seen anything different. So that strategy has now been working for what? 3.5, 4 straight weeks. I mean, we're closing in on all-time highs. Are we going to hit all-time highs? Me, I say, oh God, some stocks will. The ones that are managed correctly. We saw Microsoft hit an all-time high. We saw Apple hit an all-time high. What's happening from those? Sector rotation. When these stocks hit an all-time high, and yes, they could fade higher. But right now, you have to look at cheaper stocks like Russell stocks, right? Russell 2000 stocks, more speculative tech plays. So what does that fall under? You got a DraftKings in there. I've been mentioning it. Oh my God, gold is skyrocketing even more. I'm probably going to hold on to that gold trade even a little longer. I will look to exit out today and secure profit. Sorry, Robinhood's up 3.8% this morning. It's up over $12.28. So again, you know what? Let's just go and talk about some stocks today. We'll talk about the bear and bull case scenario, but let's just talk about some stocks because I can tell you guys some of my key points that I'm looking for possible rejection. There are some stocks that are ripping higher and been ripping higher the past few days where I'm like, okay, once this tops out, once it comes over the bell curve, that there's going to be some consolidation. So understand, although the market is lovely and this buy the dip mentality is working oh so well for like 3 weeks now, always be prepared to change that strategy. Now, I have a friend who buys the dip on coin. Every coin drop, he buys the dip. Yesterday, the dude had a ridiculous 1,300% day on his account, his entire account. Now, me, again, I would love to be involved there, but again, all right, let's watch Hood. Hood's now up 4% pre-market. Gold is almost up. Holy shit, gold just hit 181. Let's remember my exit strategy. My exit strategy on gold when it was 178.32 was 181.69. So if I see that today, I'm going to get that over 100% return. Now, this is an account that I'm working on where I want to return 100% 8 straight trades, right? You start with 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, 8,000, 16,000, 32,000, 64,000, and 128,000. So 1,000 to 128. Okay, I could take as long as I want. I made one solid trade. Now, I've been thinking about this for a while, and I was like, I got to find the right trade. The last thing I want to do is not pick a good trade for that one. So it would not be a Robinhood. It would not be an Affirm or an Upstart. It would be something like gold, silver. Why? Because again, as interest rates go down, and I was expecting a lower print, okay, we're seeing the markets go higher. Okay, yeah, so gold's teetering around 181. I would love to see 181.69. That would be my exit. I didn't think I would see it today. Coinbase, spec play. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing. Again, on Bitcoin, I thought we'd have a bit of a consolidation. But we're pressing higher, 31,000. Again, it rejected 31,300 the other day. So if Bitcoin was going to reject, then I'd be looking at that number again. You could make plays on Mara, Riot, Coinbase. I might even put an ARK K in there. Although, you know, I'm not crazy about Kathy. So yeah, let's talk about some other stocks and where they could go up to or down to. We mentioned the SPY. The SPY is at 446 this morning. Holy shit. Because that was really my top out scenario. My bull case scenario, my bear case scenario is that we're going to spike to like 446. And if we spike early in the morning, then we're going to drop. So, geez, that's pretty strong. But let's say to ourselves, okay, last CPI prints, okay, and this CPI came in extremely cool. But let's remember last couple of CPI prints when we've had really cool numbers. What's been the market movement? Well, I've seen up to 2.25%. But on average, I'm thinking about 1.18%. So I say to myself, the SPY is only up 0.82%. If I add another 0.4% on that, that's another $1.80. $1.80 from where we are right now would be 448. Basically, just under 448. So how do we check that out? Well, I'm going to go on Discord. Let's just add this to the stream. Okay, this is how I start off all of my mornings. So I'll go on Discord. I'm going to look at the dark pool levels, which I thought I looked at. Here we go. Dark pool levels. Okay. So you'll say to me, Matt, 448 isn't even on this dark pool level. how the hell do you know what that 448 might be the next dark pool level? And I'm like, no, I think 448 could be the top. Okay, that would make the market move about 1.25%. So here's how I get the dark pool level. I use simple math. I go, the difference between 440.6 and 442.94 is $2.34. So then I look at the next level from here, and I say about $2.34. That would be 445 and 32 cents, 26. So 445. So it's about $2.34. So I say to myself, $2.34 from the 445.27 is 447.61. All right. So we're pretty close to that 448 range. So I'm saying to myself, the next dark pool level, and I'll write it down, is 447.61. And then if I'm going to add from there, I'm going to go again, $2.34. So we'll add $2.40. Guess what we come out to? 450 exactly. Okay, so here are your next two dark pool levels. Since this is a psychological game, this game of trading, I'm going to say to myself, again, bull case scenario, I just upped it. I said 450 might be a level. So again, key levels I'm looking at. I'm going to write the other levels down as well, just so I have a baseline. 445, okay, 27, extremely small, almost non-significant. And then under that, we have 443. Why? Because I'm going to round up. I see 442.94. 443 sounds so much easier just to follow along, okay? All right, so with that said, again, bull case scenario, we double where we are here, so you're up another 3 points. Yeah, bull case scenario is, your extreme bull case scenario is 450. I would find it hard, but other days that I've said, geez, I don't see that happening today, it happens like 50% of the time. So again, bull case scenario, 450, it would be a major green day, a lighter green day with just some more movement, some fading higher, some definitely chopping that. You're going to see just under 448, 447.61. If they decide to sell it, and find it hard to believe that they're going to sell it, sell off the market, where could we come down to? I guess we could come down to the 443 level. And again, that's a dark pool level. That's the bottom dark pool level, 443. So I'm going to say, if the market does decide to sell off at any point, where would I look for the market to find support? And I would say 443. Okay, yeah. So somebody said, where can Baba find rejection? Well, what would I do? I'm going to look at the dark pool level on Alibaba. I am in an Alibaba call position right now, so I'm pretty happy about that. Net flow. And I mentioned on Discord, and I'll show you, I don't need to show you where, but I mentioned on Discord in public trading chat, I think it was a day and a half ago, that Chinese stocks have the right to turn around. Okay, so, I looked at net flow for Alibaba, so we can just see how the net flow is yesterday. Now I'm going to see the net flow on Alibaba for 5 days. We'll see if that works. And then I'll look at the dark pool level for Baba. Let's do that. Okay. So hopefully these will pop up. Okay, so here we go. Yesterday for the flow, let's see for the past 5 days. Now, again, this is going 5 days when we saw Alibaba spike to $87 or $88, and people were claiming victory. And I was like, okay, I didn't like Alibaba at 84. Neither do I like it at 87. So again, I didn't get in over here. Where did I get in? Right around here. I saw a nice dip after I already turned bullish. Okay. Could have got in right here. Nice dip. Okay. You're seeing call premiums as it went down, went to zero. So I guess I was very risky here. But again, I was buying the dip. What did we see? We saw a nice rebound. The stock is back up here at 92. It's probably up $2 pre-market to $94, right? So somebody said, okay, when can we see it reject? Well, shit, psychologically, you could see it reject at like 99. That would be a key level. You know, China is strong. Again, I don't really trust China, but China does. I mean, if you look at NIA, if you look at Baidu, if you look at PDD, again, they've all kind of baselined. I would like to look at Futu, F-U-T-U. I haven't done that today. So we're going to do the same thing with dark pools for Alibaba. We're going to look, okay, $90.85 to $91.80. What is that? That's going up 95 cents. Let's look from here, 89.89, right over to this. What is that? That's about what? 94 cents. So it's about every dollar, maybe minus, 4 cents to 96 cents, right? 95 cents. Okay, so you go up 95 to 96 cents. So we could just say a dollar. So we'll say 91.80. So that goes 92.75, 93.60, 94. something. So we'll go about $95.50. So if I'm going to get it out of my BABA calls, which I'm in, my exit strategy is $95.50. Originally, my exit strategy was $94, but that's before we got the low CPI print. We're already at $94 pre-market. So I'm going to up that the same way I'm looking at gold and thinking that. Let's see what other questions we have today. Thoughts on Meta. Let's get rid of this right now. Is Meta risky? Well, we saw Meta push to 300 the other day with a print like we're seeing this morning. Let me just see where Meta is this morning so I can give you an accurate account. Do I have Meta at the top? Marathon, Uber, Starbucks. No, I knew I had Meta here someplace. Oh, here we go. Meta up 1%. Okay, I was going to make a comment about the 300 number because we hit 300 the other day. Then Meta went down to 290 to 292. If you're a Meta fan, if you're a Mark Zuckerberg fan, you're not buying Meta at $301.65. You're buying it literally. It was 292. Here's the 5-day. In fact, it was 286 2 days ago. See, this is what I'm trying to teach traders. You don't have to actively trade. If you don't want to chase this market, you don't have to actively trade. But you're seeing Meta right here at 286. Where is that? My fat finger. There's my fat finger. So what you could see is, man, if I was looking to get into Meta and it was at 300 and it pulled back to 286. Now let's say it hit 300 yesterday morning, right? Where did it pull back to? Yesterday it pulled back to 292. Okay? So 292 and then 295 and change. So again, if I'm going to think about getting long Meta, I've got to see a 294 in front of that. Okay? 294, my exit would be 301. So the fact that it's at 301 pre-market, and someone would say, okay, if you think it's going to 294, can't you buy puts? I would say, no, I didn't say it was going to 294. I'm saying if I want to get bullish in something, then I've got to see it pull back first. So again, if I want to take a bullish Meta position, I want entry at 292. I don't want entry at 298. Same with Lucid. I mean, you're talking about Lucid. What is Lucid ripping higher? It's one of those more spec plays. Lucid, Rivian, Roblox. Let's just see where Lucid is right now. It's got to be close to 9, right? No, I guess $8 and change. So this is your 5-day return for Lucid. Again, just nice and easy, going higher. Remember, it was at $5.56. Remember the downgrade on Lucid? Anyway, it's being bought up. Same with NEO. I mean, I don't like the valuation of NEO at $11. But then again, I'm in Robinhood calls, and I don't like the value of Robinhood at $12.30. I'm just playing momentum there. And I got lucky, and it's spiking this morning, and there's no reason for me to sell. Here's what we do sometimes. We have good trades, and what do? We sell them too soon. And then we have shitty trades, and what happens when we have shitty trades? We hold onto them too long. So please, work on that mentality. Work on your game plan. With that said, someone's asking about, will the market continue today? Again, you want your extreme bull case scenario. Your extreme bull case scenario is we see 450 on the SPY, okay? You want your bull case scenario. Bull case scenarios, we're going to get up to just under 448. Reject there, okay? Understand dark pool levels, 450, 447.61, 445.27, which could reject. Let's see where we are pre-market. Pre-market on the SPY. I've got to use a different chart, probably an hour chart so I can see everything. Let's do that one right there. SPY. Okay, 445.58. So 445.27 is a dark pool level. Again, if we pass that dark pool level, which will likely find support out of the gate, we're going right up to 447.61, almost out of the gate. Now, I would look for it to reject. If we reject and we end up heading back down, the dark pool level at 443. So your bear case scenarios, we're still ending green today. We're still going to touch the 443 on the way down whenever we reject the top. Again, I expect a 5-point range today, being Wednesday. That follows along with the pattern. Those that join me today, please thumbs up if you like what I do. Make a comment on the side, and be sure to join me tomorrow morning for